Hello, I'm Jomika, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is probably episode 5. We're going to get a little bit more money, I think, today, because I want to upgrade the tracking center, or tracking station, and that's going to use most of our money. And it's always good to just have some extra. We also are going to want to upgrade this at some point, and that's almost $500,000. So we're going to start with ferrying some tourists. These are pretty easy for the most part in the beginning. I think we're also going to try to plant a flag on the moon today. So I don't want to bring people into orbit and fly by the moon. Orbit, fly by the moon. Suborbital, fly by the moon. So I think it's just these two. They're orbits around Kerbin. So we'll go ahead and accept that one. And then this one also, orbit around Kerbin. This one we could do, but it's not really that much money. It's just another orbit, and we don't have the space for it with our current vehicle. So is there one in here already? We have the tourist transporter, but that is just a suborbital flight. So I'm going to go ahead, quickly build up an actual orbiter that's basically going to be the same top here. We'll just need a little bit more powerful rockets at the bottom. So yeah, I'll go ahead and build that, and we can go ahead. I'll show you what I built, and then we can just fly it, collect the money, and then we can focus on getting and landing on the moon. Alright, so here is the little rocket we made here. We're going to add the tourists in. There's just the 4. We're going to actually replace the pilot here with Valentina so she can get a little bit experience. But right here we have 4,400 meters per second of delta V, and thrust to weight ratio for all of these is above 1 except for the final stage, but we should be close to orbit at that point, so we'll be okay. So let's go ahead and launch this vessel. I'll just do a quick little time lapse of it. It's kind of the same as all the others. We just go up and come back down. No point in watching the whole thing through. So yeah, I'll catch you guys when we're all done with this flight. Yeah. Okay, so we got 16 more science from that. We were 92.1% value at 126 kilometers from the Space Center. So we're getting a little better at landing a little closer. So yeah, we got the contracts complete. We're up to $342,000. And since we're going to be doing moon stuff, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this immediately. And that should be able to tell us when we have an encounter with another planetary body, the moon, for instance. So at this point, let's find things that will actually help us land on the moon. The lander can could be good. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with the landing on the moon and everything. So I think we will probably unlock that. There's nothing else really that we absolutely need. Mech Jeb will be nice, and the lander can. So we have 163 science left. We could probably save some, unlock some of these. We will want the research lab, our mobile processing lab. We'll need a few of the precision engineering ones. Definitely the solar panels. So I think we'll hold on to our science for now. But yeah, this is going to cost $451,000 to upgrade. And before I forget, we are going to plant a flag on the moon. We're going to accept that. Conduct temperature surveys of Kerbin. Flight above. And we're probably not going to worry about those. We can rescue an astronaut from Kerbin, but that means we have to rendezvous and all that. So we're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to focus on getting to the moon. Rendezvous 2 vessels. Yeah. So no rendezvousing yet. We may accept it if our vehicle kind of is set up for detaching and reattaching. But we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and build a little vessel here to get us to the moon and land it on the moon. And of course get us back from the moon. And then we can go ahead and do our best to plant a flag on the moon. Okay, we built the ship, but we need a little bit of money to upgrade the vehicle assembly building so we can have more than 30 parts. This will actually unlock that, but our ship is $29,000, so we don't quite have enough. And we're going to actually take... Can we do this one? Can easily do that one. There's not any money up front. Same with that one. So we could do both of those. But I would kind of like to do this one. We're going to be positioning a satellite in orbit eventually anyways. So we'll go ahead and accept this. Take the $32,000 up front. That's more to build the ship and everything, but we're going to use it to go to the moon. So yeah, if we take a look here, this orbit is right around the moon orbit. So it's going to be a little bit of a tougher one, but not really too difficult. Once we unlock a few things, we could probably even do it pretty easily now. But let's go ahead and go to the launch pad. We will get the moon lander. This should have everything we need. I just want to make sure that I actually installed the science, because we could get some decent science from landing on the moon with some stuff. We don't want to show up without science experiments, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and open that. We'll take a look in there. There should be, yeah, the science is there. So I couldn't remember if I did it or not. And yeah, we'll go ahead and fire up the engines. We're going to move that one down. We'll go full throttle here. And we'll go ahead and launch towards the moon. Let's actually delete all of those old contract completes. That was all from the Space Tourist. So there we go. I'll go ahead and speed up this process, and we should be up in orbit pretty soon. Okay, we made it to orbit. It wasn't the most efficient burn, but that may actually work out okay, because right around here we're going to start our burn towards the moon, and we want this to be the lowest spot already, so we're actually in pretty good shape here. So we'll go ahead and quick save just in case I mess up the fast forwarding. We're just going to wait until we can see the moon, and we can go ahead and launch towards the moon at that point. So we cannot see it yet. We should see it any second over the horizon. There it is. So now we can go ahead and point directly prograde or directly at the moon, basically. And we'll go ahead and fire up those engines. And this will bring us out towards the moon. And since we upgraded the, command center, communication, whatever, the satellite dishes at the KSC, we'll be able to see when we actually have an encounter. Alright, as we get closer, this is going to move faster and faster. We're just looking for any old encounter for right now, and then we can kind of adjust that as needed. So first we will look for those encounter lines, dots, get them closer. There's our encounter. Now we'll focus the view over here, and we'll go ahead and get as close as we can to save fuel. And yeah, then we will probably shoot that off to hit the moon so we don't have all that space debris hanging out. And yeah, I'm shooting for around 10, 15-ish, somewhere around there. 17, that'll be good. Hopefully we don't run into anything. Actually, that's almost done, so why don't we bring that right into the moon. We'll quick save just for fun. We'll go ahead and jettison. Let's point this in another direction and jettison. So right there, we'll shoot that off. You're gonna spin circles the opposite way I wanted. That's okay. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then, actually just doing that, we've already adjusted our orbit. So that's good. Let's go ahead and turn down the thrust limiter here. What kind of science do we have? EVA report. EVA report, we got it. Alright, we'll go ahead and board. And come out here. We need to stage first. So yeah, we'll do 17-ish. It may adjust. It may not. And then from here, I kind of want, I don't know if I really want to adjust my inclination here. Because right now when we come in to the moon, we're kind of coming up towards the North Pole and then going down. It'd be nice to come right around the equator. Do we want to do that? Nah, we won't do it. Let's see, because we would do that at our ascending node or descending node, and I actually don't see those anywhere. So F5, and we'll go ahead and fast forward. Just make sure that we don't miss our encounter. It should automatically slow down there, but you never know. So we'll go ahead and slow that down. We are still at 17,000, so we will quick save again because that's where we want to come in. And we'll speed it up a tiny bit until we start hearing that science alarm. And then once we do, we can collect that science. And we'll try to land on the moon, and we need to plant our flag. I did accept that contract, right? Yes, plant flag on the moon. So we are good. So we'll concentrate a little bit here. We'll get real close to the periapsis, and then we'll point retrograde. And we should be able to land right where we're at. So let's go ahead and deploy all of those. We will EVA, EVA, board, collect everything. All right, so from here, we are going to wait until about 17,000, maybe a little bit higher, but basically this will be about 30 seconds or so, and then we can go ahead and burn the engines. We don't need that much delta V to do this. We'll just collect the EVA report here. We'll board again, and we can point retrograde, and we'll go ahead and burn. We should also turn up that thrust limiter to 100. We're going to slow this down to about I guess about 0. And that'll stop our horizontal speed, and we can only focus about landing softly. Do we want to worry about this? Sure, we'll collect it real quick. Board, collect all. Turn on those engines again. Quick save. And continue our thrust towards the surface, killing off all of our orbital speed, or I guess velocity, and bring that close to 0, and then that'll bring us to a landing spot nearby here. So hopefully we have enough fuel to land. These are probably going to run out of fuel before we land, but that's not a huge issue. We should have plenty of fuel to get back to Kerbin. So we'll go ahead and turn this to the ground height, and we just want to make sure we're not going too fast to where we can't stop in time. So maybe about here we can slow down a little bit more. And yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on this. We probably should have had a little bit more fuel left here, because once these run out, we're just carrying around dead weight. It's not doing us any good, but we can't get rid of it because of the landing legs. So we kind of have to keep it until we take off. So 7,000 meters, going about 130. We should turn that to surface. And yeah, we should be able to stop ourselves pretty easily. Go ahead and extend those landing legs. Slow down a little bit more. I wonder if there is information about like our suicide burn start point. Nope, not in there. I don't want to look around too much because there's too many things to look at. Alright, we won't worry about that. We'll just do it all manually, just kind of by looks. So we're about 2,500 meters from the surface, going about 130 meters per second. And yeah, we should be able to slow down just fine. I don't want to do it too fast though, or like slow down too slow and hit the ground on accident. That would be the worst. We don't want to lose Jebediah like that. So we're about 800 meters from the ground, 30 meters per second, 500, 400. Just keep on slowing our speed a little bit at a time. And we are out of fuel on those outer stages. So about 200 meters. Where's our shadow? Is there a shadow? There it is. That'll just help us figure out how far from the surface we are. So we can go just do minor adjustments at this point. And I usually like to land under 5 meters per second, but the closer to 0 we can land, the better. So we can go ahead and decrease our thrust. We are on the side of a mountain, and we are landed. Go ahead and quick save there. We will deploy everything except EVA. We'll go ahead and collect everything, deploy that, EVA report, keep that. Board, I guess we don't have to collect that because it already did. So we'll EVA again. One thing I didn't think about is a ladder. I think we'll be okay. I think we can, the moon is light enough gravity that we can just jump off and hope for the best. So there we are. We are on the surface. We'll go ahead and plant our flag. This will be moon landing 1 of probably many. So we'll just go ahead and name that flag landing 1. And let's make it fancy. We'll go moon landing 1. Hit OK. We should have, oops, don't want to delete. We wanted to look at it. World's first milestone. Let's get rid of that UI display. Entered the orbit of the moon, performed a spacewalk in orbit of the moon, entered suborbital, landed on the surface, walked on the surface, and planted a flag. So those are all the world first milestones. And we got that contract complete of $141,000. So we are good. We should have enough money to do that other satellite mission. So we'll turn our RCS on, we'll jump, and we'll go ahead and try our best to grab that board. And we are back on the ship. I don't think there's anything else we need to do here. So we're just going to take off and head this direction to try and get back. So if we head directly to the right, is it? I don't know what direction that is, but basically retrograde for the moon. The moon is spinning this way. We want to point that way so we come down to Kerbin. So let's go ahead and quick save just in case I mess up. We're not going to hit spacebar. I almost did. And we'll go ahead and take off and head this direction. Is that the right way? Yes, we are headed in the correct direction, so we'll go ahead and tilt all the way over and full speed ahead. Our throttle's 100 and we're good. So now at this point we should just be able to hang out, wait for us to get close to Kerbin. We should have plenty of delta V as soon as we escape the sphere of influence of the moon. We'll be able to kind of be on our way towards Kerbin. I don't know which direction I want to turn, but I kind of want to like point a little bit closer that direction, but I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to go for it, hope for the best. Hopefully we don't run out of fuel. And that's not really what I was hoping for. So I guess what we're going to do is wait. We're not going to quick save. We'll go back. But yeah, we'll wait until we leave the sphere of influence of the moon. And then we'll see where we're at. We'll probably be somewhere around here. Or not, like somewhere around there. And then we can go ahead and burn again. And hopefully bring in our periapsis much closer to the moon. In an ideal situation, our apoapsis would have been somewhere about here. And then our periapsis would have been down towards the Space Center, or down towards Kerbin. But we kind of misjudged that ascent. We can also get rid of these. We don't need them anymore. So let's go ahead and do that. Is that right? Yeah. There we go. Got rid of those. We're going to go ahead and point retrograde as soon as we can. We can do that now. Let's go ahead and point retrograde. And then we'll go ahead and fire our engine. And we'll just take a look to see what that does. That is not what I wanted at all. So let's do this. We'll go ahead and hit F9. We'll go back. We'll adjust our ascent, because that was not the best one. I thought we had escaped the sphere of influence of the moon. So where are we? So if we head directly that direction, we're going to go there. So we want to go south a little bit. So maybe 135. Let's try that. But first, we're going to take off full speed. Go ahead and do that. And where are we headed? Yeah, that's a little better. I think. We won't know until we know. I guess if we just head directly off the surface, that'll be good too. Because we're kind of pointed out that way. Yeah, we'll do that. This one should be better. That actually makes sense, because if we were on this line, we want to go straight out that way. And those were just the extra little things that were on our spaceship. So yeah, that's more of what I was looking for. We can just keep going. We'll bring that down. Bring that under like 50-ish. And that's what we wanted. That's what we were going for last time. So now we're good. We can go ahead and quick save that. I'm happy with that one. And we'll go ahead and time warp a little bit. We'll head out this way. We'll be about here-ish. And then we'll head back towards Kerbin. So there we go. We have left the sphere of influence of the moon. We are on our way back towards Kerbin. Quick save. Quick save every time. Yeah, and we're on our way. Things are looking pretty good. So we'll go ahead and speed up a little bit more. Slow it down as we get closer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and burn retrograde when we get much lower. And that'll slow down our speed, so there's not as much heating effects. We do have a heat shield, but we're just going to slow it down just because. I think we'd be fine even if we entered like this. But I always like to slow it down as much as possible. And that way we can try and land a little bit closer to the Space Center. So why don't we go ahead and start that burn right now. And this will bring both our periapsis and apoapsis way down. And we'll probably land somewhere on the border of the dark and light side of Kerbin. And yeah, that is basically it to this little mission here. So I'll go ahead and finish this up, and we'll be safely back on Kerbin in no time. Alright, we are almost to the ground. We can go ahead and do this EVA report. Right here. EVA, keep. I don't know where we are. Kerbin Shores, that's where we are. So that's because we're landing right at the border here. Go ahead and land. And we'll go ahead and collect this vessel, and we should get a whole bunch of science. So we are landed. Now we can recover the vessel, be back at the Space Center, and we'll take a look at our little mission report. I don't even know how long that mission was. Probably a couple days, if that. We got 392 science earned from that. We got $992 back. Jebediah is 3 experience now. We've got some reputation. Day 6, so actually that was about a day, I think. And then down here we have world first milestone, returned home from the surface of the moon, returned home from orbit of the moon, and we got some more money for that. So we are up to $341,000 and 569 science. We are in pretty good shape. We almost have the tech tree unlocked for the science we can spend. Actually, I take that back. We're not that close. We will have to upgrade the Research and Development Center in order to get these. But we're in pretty good shape. Next time, we need to make sure we do the satellite mission. We could use a few satellites up in orbit anyways. But that is going to do it for today. If you liked today's episode, be sure to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And thank you for joining me. I hope to see you all in the next episode.